here without observing. So it is known as broken intelligence, broken awareness. So what Patanjali says, fluctuations of the mind. So this is also known as the fluctuations of the unconscious mind, which is nothing but the nervous system in the human body. So we should not fluctuate the position. If you fluctuate the position, you are lost. The essence of that asana. Then you only just say gloss. Kanchasana. Kancha means the mountain. Kancha means a bird. So if you see, the base of the mountain is too broad. And as it goes, you see the peak, the point. So this is the point. The pyramid of this building, they call it pyramid here, one building, which I saw this afternoon. So that goes like that. Nityasana. Just a gripper. Not just letting loose. Now with that grip, I have to see, what am I doing? Where is my body? Where is my mind? Where am I looking? Where am I not looking? How to connect everything together. Navasana. Nava means the boat, shape of a boat. Ardhanavasana, the half boat. Uttanupadasana, each asana varies. Chakrasana. So like that, asanas are innumerable as the muscles are innumerable. Joints are innumerable. That's why probably the yogis in olden days thought these various movements, what today in the modern terminology is called feedback system. How to feed back, feed that part, each and every part, to get nourishment through circulation is known as feedback system. Upavishta Konasana. At the time of pregnancy, ladies have tremendous backaches. If they just turn the spine, the outer spine becomes straight. Outer vertebrae of the spine, backache disappears. The length is only on the outer side. There are some asanas, suppose I do, the outer spine has collapsed. It's dropping. Now see, it does not drop. So that way, each asana, you have to see, even a hair split change, what does it give? And that, if you work like that, that is dhyana. To become, in order to understand the being, is meditation. I hope you catch me, because I'm touching so many points. Baddha Konasana. Because I'm told in all the magazines, even Yoga Journal very recently, Mr. Iyengar is a physical yogi. Though I've come after 10 years here, they must not, the persons who have written also, they may not be knowing what type of yogi I am. Hearsay. Somebody says, all right, I've got paper, I've got ink, I've got brain. Let me write off. They become the authors. They become the masters of the art, knowing nothing. And I am working since 51 years, non-stop. And still, these are the people who disturb the innocence of a person who practices for the sake of practicing. Can anybody demarcate where the body ends and the mind begins? Can anybody demarcate where the mind ends and the soul begins? While performing the asana, now, if I move the leg, what is the effect on the physiological organ? Those who write do not know even the function of the physiological organs, organic movements, what we call. You know how to flex the muscle. I'm flexing the biceps. Follow? Now I'm sitting in that pose. I'm flexing my liver. That they don't touch, because they don't know. I'm extended. Follow? I'm also extending my bladder. That they do not know. So magazines are plenty. But constructive ideas should be given. They have to penetrate. When the physical body hits the physiological body and the physiological body comes in contact with the mind. Mind sends the message to the intelligence. This cell is telling me something, so let me see. Then from the self is connected. From the self is connected. So while doing the asanas, you have to do the dual path. The energy moving from the intelligence towards the extremities of the body, and the intelligence of the body from the extremities sending the message to the intelligence towards the soul, known as outgoing energy, which is from the self towards the body, and inward going energy from the body towards the self. So while performing the asanas, these two things have to be observed. Then you and I both will learn something about the essence of this art. Otherwise we do not know. Baddha Konasana. They say the range of movement. The ankle is about 40 degrees, 50 degrees, knees about 60 degrees, 70 degrees, that's all they know. But how much it can move if properly tuned. Now we can see. So if the anatomy do not know, then otherwise if I do it, he's a contortionist. These are the words they get from dictionaries. But they do not understand that if one human being can do, why not the other human beings? If the ankle is strained, you are in plaster. If the outer ankle is strained or sprained, you are kept for 20 days with support. But the yogi knows how to curve in, how to move the outer ankle in, how to move the inner ankle out. So these asanas teach the various movements, how they can be adjusted within the fluid itself. That's the beauty of the asana, yoga. Similarly, Kandasana. I'm not going step by step to proceed. I'm jumping from here to there, as I said, I've come for the first, I'm appearing here for the first time, and I don't give public appearances at all. Artist's character is quite different, teacher's character is different. If I have to be on a platform, it's an art. The presentation of an art on a platform is quite different to the presentation of teaching. As such, I've lost. Once upon a time I had this as a concept artist on a platform in yoga. But I have lost a little bit because the subject is forgotten. Because I don't come for 8 years, 10 years on a platform. Kandasana, can you see? You are sitting comfortably there, I am sitting also comfortably there. How can be a contortionist? How can I be a contortionist? If I do it, then you can say, sit a freedom. So that means Patanjali has said somewhere, Prayatna Shaifilya Ananta Samapatibhyam. When the effortful effort transforms itself as an effortless effort, you have conquered that asana. He has not said all the asanas. You have conquered that asana. So when you have conquered that asana, at that time, the dualities of the joints, the circulatory system, whatever you may call it, dissolves, it disappears, and you live alone as a single individual. Because the person becomes universal at that moment. If I'm struggling getting, I'm an individual. But the moment effortlessly says, there is no I, there is no me, there is no you, the pronoun I, pronoun me, capital, disappears. So I'm one with God. That is known as Ananta. He is one with the Ananta, the infinite. That's how we have to feel when we are doing that. Kurmasana. Not only doing the pose, many times I sleep in these poses too. I do savasana like that only. That is known as, can I release the tension without losing the extension? Again I'll show you. This is full extension. Now see, I never lost the range of extension, but I removed the tension in the foot, in the hands, in the back. If you observe very carefully, without strain, I still increase the movement if you observe the skin on my back. Can you all see? Did you see how much I descended? But I had already touched the floor, but still I could descend. So that means surrendering my body, allowing it, not straining. I said I've stretched fully. After stretching, can I know how to surrender? That surrender is known as Bhakti Marga in the asana. That I am surrendering myself to that pose. When the pose is fully performed, Ishvara Pranidhanat, I am surrendering to God that pose. Bija Pidasana. Bija means the shoulder. Pida means pressurizing. Pressurizing and balancing. Feeling how this is behaving, how this is behaving. So my brain is not tight. Some of my people, they stretch, they will be looking there only. They don't know what is happening here. Let me see, am I good? Am I not good? That means releasing the tension in the brain, not collapsing the body. So how to practice, I'm showing also at the same time. Shirishasana. When a beginner tries to go head balance, he does not care for his body. Like a learner of a car who does not know how much pressure he has to give for the accelerator. The learner says, press gradually. If he presses very hard, it jerks the machine, he gets wild. Or if he presses too hard, it catches the speed. And then he says, my car will be damaged, you have to pay for the loss, he says. So also in Shirishasana, many of the beginners, they try to show off and break their backs like their vehicle. Now I will show you that also. They try like that. open my neck. So I saying, they go with the neck to the doctor. And the doctor says, don't do it at all. This is common, is it not? The Olympics were held here in your country very recently. So many accidents took place. They were immediately given first aid and asked, yes, now you can go. You can run if you want to. A cricketer cracks his knuckle, supported. Yes, now you can go with that support and play in the field. Why only for this prejudice, which I have not understood at all? So for sports, even if you break, you have the permission to play. If you get a sprain or a strain in yoga, stop. But the medicine is the same. They are also saying the human medicine. Yoga is also a human medicine, human system. Why not we give a thought to that? What happened? What did you do? So if I'm a medical man, if somebody comes to me, I say, go and ask your teacher, see what you did, so then come to me, I will try if I can help you. Now just, as I said before, I saw that gentleman with the wrist pain, and I just touched him and I said, you can move in any direction, you can move. He moved in every direction, he said, no pain at all. So I knew how to adjust it, is it not? As they know how to adjust it, they also should know that yogis also should know something about their bodies. Running, if you are running, if you hit a stone, you fall. Do you stop running next day? Jogging here is very common. They continue again. And they are permitted to do, but not yoga. So my request is not to see with a jaundiced eyes this art. As you see the other art, see this also with a clear eye, not with a jaundiced eyes, not with a jaundiced brain. This is all my request. As I explained to you in Tadasana, the Shirshasana also should be as accurate as Tadasana. It is nothing but a reverse Tadasana. There we stand on the feet, here we stand on the two arms and the head, which are used as a tripod. And in this head balance also, the doctors say if you stand on your head, your blood tissues will break, you will end up in the hospital. But they do not say that we are standing on our feet for 20 hours every day, but no rupture is taking place in the legs. So if it can happen to the head, it should happen to the legs also if we are standing, is it not? So why not give with an open mind to observe? Now I am staying, I am talking, nothing is happening to me. If I know how to stand well, I don't get varicose veins. If I do wrongly, naturally, I have to develop varicose veins. Similarly, by doing a wrong pose, if something happens, a universal statement should not be given at all. Here, when I'm doing the pose, can you see each and every part of my joints are moving upwards, which it takes off the weight from my neck, which it takes off the weight from my skull, from my brain. How can it injure me? Because I'm distributing the weight in various areas. Again, which is known as feedback movements. If I collapse like that, put a dead body on my neck, naturally I have to tear some nerve. But if I go on distributing, redistributing the energy, nothing can happen. That is known as extension. Extending the body beyond its capacity so that the circulation moves in the different directions without injuring the arteries. variation. After doing that, observing, can I turn more? Can I turn more? Can I turn more? Whereas people that buy my book, they say I'm going like this triangle. This is the injury to the eye. This is restfulness to the eye. This is restlessness to the eye. The moment you feel restlessness, you should know I'm doing something wrong. That is known as correcting the wrong. As this leg is moving forward, this leg has to be stretched backward. Now many of you, when you do this pose, you bring the leg down, that also comes down. And you say, I'm doing yoga. This is not yoga, but we have got the word in our Indian language called boga. It's a pleasurable pose. It's a pose for pleasure. It's a pose for action. So this leg, in which direction is going? This leg in which direction is going? Now if you observe how the knees are having the pliability, can you see I have put one leg, how this frame gives room for the other leg to stand. Can you see now? Whereas you people, I've seen doing in the class, they keep this leg. So it doesn't move at all. You have to give room, is it not? I'm giving room for it to come down. Same way. I put it, giving room for it to come down. But to move this, you also move this. And it is stuck there only. I'm showing the faults not to show my greatness, but I'm showing deliberately, please do not do the way, the false method, that's all. That's a waste of energy, hitting 10 times. Then you come down, collapse. Try without using that aggressive flow in the joint. If it does not come also, you come down. What does it matter? Both results are the same. So with the softness it has to be learned, not with hardness. Because all motions need softness. You are putting the other leg, with resistance you do, like using the accelerator and the brake of the vehicle at the same time. The movement of the leg is a speed, and hardening the muscle is the brake. How could they move together? So you have to give room for each muscle, which moves like a wheel. Each muscle is a wheel of this human system. Each joint is the connecting link between the muscles. If there is no joint, you cannot move. I am like a stone, what you call the bamboo spine. So each joint is there to make the muscles to get the movement of contractions, circumferential movement, extensions, expansions and all. So there should be a tremendous understanding of the human physics and physiology. Then nothing happens. Then they say, what do you get it? Patanjali uses very well. The present day practice of yoga is shaucha, santosha, tapas, svadhyaya, ishvara pradhanani niyamaha. Shaucha, cleanliness. You do a little pose, just a little here and there, not going directly to drink the essence of the pose, but wasting time. What you call warming up exercises. If I want to warm this finger, knuckle, I have to only do this way, is it not? Only stretch, the blood circulates. Why do so many methods? Do this way, do that way, all have no meanings at all. Touch the thing directly. Feel the movement directly. Then it sends message to the brain. So while we are performing, we have to learn, that is known as talent, skillfully, using our talent, how to use skillfully the joint and the muscle. Even the muscle has to move skillfully, not in a crude way. It has also certain motion, certain movement we have to observe. What type of movements come? Now I'm standing. You can see my skin. They are giving me the direction. Can you see now? When I'm standing, when I'm moving, they show different movements which I catch. If you see the horses, they also do like that. Is it not? So we have to see, when they do like that, what does it come from them? So that we can also introduce in our system. So you can see my skin moving circularly. Can you see now? They are not flat movements. See, the moment I bend, it has a circular movement. But for you it appears that I am bending the legs. If I go back, you can see now. Can you see the thigh muscles, how they revolve? But the movement is straight. So that observation is a must. I know I have to keep an eye on my watch too. Sarvangasana. When we practice, we go like that. We open our chest. The moment you forget, you collapse your chest. And you try. So the ribs have become so small. You don't create space. You struggle. So duality in action. Differences in action. So we have to start from a rhythm. When I'm lying down, what is the state of my skin? What is the state of my chest? What is the behavior of my back? So Patanjali uses somewhere saying, dharma parinama. What is the character of that certain muscle? What is the quality of that muscle? What is the state of that muscle? Each and every one has to be studied like that, which he speaks in Samaya about integration. So when I'm sitting like that, I have to feel what is its character, in which direction they are moving, how they are moving. After moving, when they come to a standstill, what is its state? So I have to catch. In that catching, I have to go. My chest has not collapsed. This is Sarvangasana. Halasana. Hala means a flow. So this is the flow. These are the bullocks in olden days they were using. Horses to plow the line. And plowing it takes my spine, which is known as the sympathetic nervous system, to supply energy to various parts of the trunk. Parshva Halasana. lateral movement of the trunk. Supta Konasana. Parshvaika Pada Sarvangasana. Eka Pada Sarvangasana. Eka Pada Mayurasana, because it gives the shape of a peacock. How the measured movement is to be done. Parshva Sarvangasana. It's a very good pose where the brain is negativated and the heart is lifted, what we call the mind, the subconscious mind. Now the subconscious mind has become the conscious mind and the conscious brain has become the subconscious because it's below. So it's a very good pose for emotional disturbances. And in Pune, with the help of the props, and helping lots of people who have got cardiac problems, emotional disturbances. But the timing is important. One has to stay longer to experience. And secondly, you can see my hands, which are cupped on the ventricle of the kidneys, where my palm drives the kidney and pushes the blood away from it, so that after some time, when I jump, the fresh blood is brought and irrigates the kidney. In this pose, when the legs are straight, the movement is on the lumbar and the sacroiliac area. When the legs are crossed, which is on the cervical and the thoracic spine, so that no part of the body of the spine is neglected in presentation. This is the most, which I am going to perform, is the most difficult one in the shoulder stand. This movement is meant for the transverse column. I'm showing twice so that you can also see what happened to the other side. Without disturbing this muscle, I have to take it down. Not. Yeah. So this has a different face, that is a different face. So intelligence has to be made to move in various directions in each pose. That is known as diffusing intelligence. whatever I showed you just now, all these poses could be done by everyone, irrespective of age, sex, diseases, and whatnot. Up to that, we have no problems at all. Now what I am going to show now are the difficult ones which require tremendous awareness, called Viveka Chatir Aviplava Hanopayaha. That is, awareness should run uninterruptedly when the poses are getting complicated. If that uninterrupted awareness is slightly lost, like the light which goes off suddenly, what happens to you? In a dark room, you don't know. You are in suspense. So also your nervous system may go into some suspenses inside, which cannot come to the surface for days or months or years. So that is why they have to be done with a tremendous awareness, not with greed that I want to do it, which is commonly questioned to me by many people. I love backbends, but your body is prepared to do backbends or not. One should know that. I want to do the balancer. Is your hand, is your shoulder, are they strong? So that question they don't put. So if I show this stupid man on the platform, some of you may go and try stupidly. But remember, I've done with sanity for 50 years. That you should have in your mind. I did not get that pose in one day. How did I reach to get that rhythm? And luckily, you have at least a person who removes the weeds in your practices. Because I don't speak for others, but I speak only for myself. Because when I see, I remove the weeds so that the plant may grow well in you. That means health and intelligence. The other movement, as I said, like Niyama, you get only in a little circulation called Shaucha. I have cleansed the body a little. I have cleansed this nerve a little. In that cleansiness, what do you get? Patanjali says delight. Because a little circulation, healthy feeling has come, there's a delight. That's one part of yoga. That is called Bhoga Yoga in our language. Health has come, a little cleanliness has taken place. Then he says, when the yoga commences, real yoga commences, after this delight, Shaucha Santosha, Tapaswadhyaya Ishvarampnidana, then the real hard work commences. He does not say those two. He says, have the delight, have the pleasure. So after getting the pleasure, after getting the delight, what have you to do? You should go with a tremendous inner urge, with a tremendous aspiration. Aspiration is tapas. To penetrate further, that it has given me health. Is that the end of that, or is there something else? Then, in that search, knowledge comes to you. Knowledge of the body, knowledge of the nerves, knowledge of the muscles, knowledge of the organs, known as Svadhyaya. From aspiration, you develop a discipline to penetrate. In that discipline, you search yourself, which you all know thyself. To know thyself, there should be a tremendous aspiration. Not by pleasure and a little cleanliness inside and outside. Taking bath does not keep your blood clean, but it may keep the skin, pores of the skin clean. How to keep the cells clean? how to keep the organs clean. So that is known as santosha. Each organ has to laugh itself, not smiling on our lips, but even the liver has to smile. The stomach has to smile, the intestines have to smile. And when that is learned, then know thyself, because your interest in the art increases. As the interest increases, then the search for the self begins. And in that searching, you become one within yourself through the asana. As I was telling this morning to Ramananda when he asked me, when I am performing the asana is an object, I am a subject. I am seeking in that asana. So when I have searched everything in that asana which is an object, then I enter in that object. So I lose my identity, the object becomes a subject. The asana becomes a subject, I become the object. I become the witness when performing. That is Ishvara Pranidhana. Myself is witnessing this universal cosmic structure. That is the real spiritual yogic practice. So Patanjali has also divided. When false yoga commences, when true yoga commences. Keeping health is false yoga according to Patanjali. After gaining health, what have you to do? He shows the way. Because it is a science of liberation, science of freedom, so he cannot stop on health and happiness, which is common in all the modern magazines, modern books. One has to go still further. So one has to be careful when you perform that whether each and every cell, as you have the willpower to do, you have to observe each cell has got the willpower to cooperate with this willpower, to coordinate with this willpower. So the will of the cell with the will of the mind, when they unite, that is Hatha Yoga. Ha means sun, Ta means moon. Ha means energy, Ta means consciousness. How to make the energy which we call breath, the energy of the breath, how did they mingle with your intelligence which is a consciousness? Did they communicate each other? Did they understand each other? And that is Hatha Yoga, not the lazy yogi who cannot stand straight, who cannot walk, who needs a support, who say Hatha Yoga is a physical yoga. There are more drug addicts than me. You saw. Manusa said, I am already 3/4, my life has gone only very near to the graveyard. So I want to reach that graveyard with a benevolent friendliness. That's why I am practicing. They are afraid of fear, that's why they are too far. They are afraid of everything. And they took the cover. I am teaching spiritual yoga. I do not know still what spiritual yoga is. To say the mantra, you have to use your mouth, is it not? Om Namo Narayana, I am thinking of the name of God. Which part of your body is using? Is the self saying it or your lips and your mouth is saying? So if I move, Om, 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 I am doing Japa Yoga. If I move my hand and learn whether my intelligence can reach there or not, so it's a physical yoga. I hope you learn that if they come, have that discriminative faculty in you. Test them. Ask them to stand erect. They want a chair. If a Swami comes with a robe, you give him a chair to sit. And for me, I am still standing. And they say, my young people will be performing for you, and he is giving me the mic here a talk, because he cannot stand, he is using someone. So his limbs are rusted. But my limbs are not still rusted. So I am living everywhere, that is not thyself. Even myself, my part of the toe also knows what that self is. That is what these asanas, if you do well, teaches you. I will show you a few balancings, then backbends. As I said, art is too big, cannot be fixed in a limited time. Art is infinite, but we are in finite time. That's the problem. Bakasana. Parshva Bakasana. Ekapada Kaundinyasana. Same leg on the same hand, laying it still. Urdhva-dhanurasana. Viparita Chakrasana. As I said, if I have time, I can go on showing still. So it's just to give you an idea of a few balancing poses. Backbends, because as I said, I have to look at the watch. I asked them, is there a watch where I can see? They said, no watch. Then I said, I'm uncontrollable. Then Manoso told me, wear it in your wrist so that you can see. Viparita Dandasana. A few backbends you can develop, because you cannot ask me also to perform all in that limit. You know, the musicians, they come. They only play 2 sonatas and go away. You cannot ask them to play what all they know, is it not? So if I show you everything, by chance if I come next time, you may say that I've seen everything. So I'm preserving some in case I come again so that you can see the rest. Raman, there is a little slippery, you have to come up. Come from this. There is a slight slippery in the carpet. So if I slip, then I only get injury. Slip this, then I have to be here alone forever. I want to go back home, that's why I called him. Not now, a little later I will call him. Now see how it is slipping. I can't get the grip at all. Can you see now? Just touch my toe, that's all. No, two. This is four. That is Viparita Dandasana, or in yogic terminology, salutation to the Lord. You go like that. So in India they do this way. Because this is very simple. So the yogis thought that even this also is very little. So they said, let them move their whole body. So that's a salutation, the entire body, so that they get a little exercise at the same time. I think the humanity even in 2000 BC were also like what we are today. So some were saying, do this way, do this way, do that way. And today the same thing we are repeating. The spokes of the wheel of time is only moving up and down. We are all in the same wheel. Mandalasana. This is known as the movement of the axis of the spine. Now the other. Just one more. Ekapada Rajakapotasana. Sorry, Ekapada Viparita Dandasana. One. This one. Ekapada Viparita Dandasana. You will be happy to know that I think from my own place, Pune and Bombay, where I conduct classes, some peoples have come here. Is it not? They conducted their classes. Probably they will tell you if you ask them whether they have seen me practicing, whether they have seen my demonstration. Have you seen? Huh? How many years ago? Can you imagine now? So they are also under the impression that this man may not be doing now his own.